over 50 years, when I started to look, where was I going to put myself on this planet? Where was my journey going to be? I always wanted to be an artist. I loved colour. I have a very creative right brain, very creative. And it didn't serve me well for a long time because I didn't understand. I didn't understand how the mind worked, how the system worked, or why people were getting sick. There were so many questions that had to be answered. Yes, I was very confused when I was nursing and doing maternity in general. I was very confused because of the pain and suffering and the way people were treated. But of course, I had to get on with my work. So I couldn't ponder on it. Anyway, it was too deep to ponder on. All I could do was my best. Then I started to do reflexology, and I started to look at the energy of the body. It took a while for that to sink in, energy, because I was so used to working on the physical. But eventually it did. It's like the penny dropped and it went bing, the light came on, and I thought, oh my Lord, this is fantastic. Well, it was fantastic for a while. But of course, I'm one of these people, I have to find out the why, the why, the why, the why. And you know, when we start looking at why, we can spend years and years, because there's always another why after you find an answer. I call it, to me, it's a bit like having a big jigsaw puzzle. You have all the pieces are out there somewhere and you have to find them. And when you do, it's like finding such a treasure. And then you put that piece in and you say, I know that now. And then you go on and say, oh yeah, that's great, but it's not enough. And then you go off into the ether again and you find another piece, somebody or something. You're led. I believe we are led. When we are seekers, we are led in the right direction. And maybe we might get a book, or maybe we might, somebody might come along and through a course we might do, or somebody might say something. And you know, sometimes things happen in the most bizarre place. We might look at something and think, oh, that's horrible. How could that be? And yet there is a piece of a jigsaw in there and you think, now I understand more. Because I believe it's out of the ashes, when everything is just crumbles and falls, there is another jewel in the crown. And then I started to do many therapies, as I've said before. I did body, mind, and soul. I was trying to piece together the different bodies that we have, the different levels of bodies we have, because we have a body, we have a mind, we have an emotional body, we have a soul, we have many layers. And I started to learn about the chakras of the body. Now, to a person who never heard about chakras, and most people have today, but it sounds bizarre, chakra. And what are chakras? Because you can't open the body and so here's the chakra. The chakras, I suppose I would say, are related to our emotions, really, and to our spirit. And if there's a blockage in any of these chakras, seven chakras, if there's a blockage in any of them, then we have to clear that blockage. And then we are rising up and up and up and up to the crown chakra. And that's a very difficult thing to do, because when you start searching for the truth and you go out there into the world that has been created for us, we find no truth. That's not true, and that's not true, because we're able to create, we're able to think for ourselves when we're using our creative mind, and when we're seeking, the seeking inside in us says, no, that's not true. And then you go off and you say, no, that's not true. So there was an awful lot of not true, not true, not true, not true. And I realized we have a complete system that is built on things that are not true. That was a staggering discovery for me. It created an unsurmountable amount of stress in my body because I had nowhere to go. I had no one to talk to. I had nobody. Seeking answers was virtually impossible because there was doors being closed every time. And I realized, as I put all these little pieces of jigsaw together, I realized that we are living, that material world that's out there, outside of us, is not serving our inner selves, our inner body, our soul. Because there are things put in place that block people from their souls. And I think people in general, people all over the world, people are loving people. They're made from love, they're made from light. And why are they? Well, because they are controlled by a world that does not want people to know about the inner body. Our hospitals are full of people, general hospitals are full of people who have sickness due to emotional, nutritional, spiritual blockages. I worked in maternity hospitals. We have maternity hospitals where women are in there because of the generational abuse, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual abuse perpetrated on women in order to keep them down. Because women are very sensitive, and they are sensitive to the spirit, and they are sensitive. That spirit talks through the right brain. And the world that is out there, that material world that's out there, that buy more, never enough, that spirit has been cut off because our education system, the workforce and everything has been right-brained. This is where I call it the filing cabinet. If it's not in there, in the intellectual logic, it doesn't have to be proven. If it's not in there, you can't use it. Because the right side is the creative. And the creative side says, that's a load of rubbish. That has been blocked. So when we go to school, it all starts. Keep it left, keep it left. It's like the rules of the road. Stay on the left side, stay on the left side. Everybody is going on the left side. So we have this idea that because everybody is going on the left side, it must be right. And if it's not right, well, how can you look at it and say, well, you better wake up, you guys? Because where is the proof? A lot of the time we don't need proof. We just need to know there is a knowledge inside in everybody. And when truth resonates, when you're looking for solutions and looking for answers, and you come across that piece of jigsaw, that is a truth, and it resonates inside in you. So after years and years and years and years of searching, looking at how to treat the physical body, of course we need to keep the physical body. The physical body is the brain as well as the body, as well as this body and brain. It's all the one. So as looking at it too, I came to realize we have to get rid of toxins. Where do you get rid of toxins when everything looks so wonderful out there? It's because the toxins have been glamorized. And if you look at the television, It was the only place we looked. I suppose we have the internet now, which is global and opening up to knowledge. But when we looked at the television, all these wonderful shows and all the ads and all the jingles that connected us to a product, and all the sports and all the programs and all the chat shows, all connected to a product that sold something that made you not better, made you worse. But the whole thing was kept. Keep happy, keep positive, keep selling the problem. And the problems were sold, and problems, and our world, our world out there was built on problems. Because when I was nursing, I could not solve a person's problem. They were sick. I couldn't do anything, but I could be kind to that person. I could do all I could to help them, but I couldn't do anything. I now know that I can, because it's somebody in the Bible, I think it said, by their acts you shall know them. When we get to know at a deep level a person, and we are not allowed to get to know a deep person because everything is kept superficial. Don't look below superficiality. And that keeps us people connected to their root chakra. Now, the root chakra is our survival. It is make money and buy stuff, and that makes you happy. And repeat and repeat and repeat. And that is something that people, that's how would you say, it's the wheel that it's a never-ending cycle, negativity. Because when I worked as a nurse, I was given, I suppose you could say, a certificate. And that certificate allowed me to do the work of a nurse, which was look after the sick people. Do anything for them? No, just look after them. When the doctor was given a certificate after 7 years, he was given a certificate to look after sick people. Don't do anything for them. Can't do anything for them. When somebody goes and does a beauty therapy, they get a certificate to use a product, not to solve a problem for people. If the person then comes back because of the chemicals because of the build-up of toxins in the blood, then they're told, go to the doctor. Now's the time. So then, whether it's a beautician or every job that's there, nearly every job is connected to the oil industry. Because we live in an age, the industrial age. And industry was for industry, created cars and so on, planes and so on and so forth. But the problem really came about when oil was used and put in and on people. Microplastics, because these microplastics are in nanoparticles, which means, can you imagine how thin a hair is? Well, imagine being 1,000 or more times smaller than a hair. So these oil products that are flooding the marketplace, they started off, I suppose, on the agriculture and the food. And then farmers were put out of business because supermarkets came along. Cheap food. It's very easy to make cheap food because you can throw a chemical into the earth and it'll blow it up. And instead of having 5 apples or 5 potatoes, you have 25. So the farmers fell for that. More profit. That's okay. I have nothing against more profit. So then what happened was supermarkets came along, and supermarkets started to sell these chemical products, these chemical foods. And then the more people trusted these foods, because they thought, well, why should I work so hard? I mean, why break my back out in the field when I can go and buy whatever I want in the supermarket? And because of that trust, petrochemicals and microplastics were used on, shampoo and creams and lotions and baby food and so on and so forth. And it just grew and grew and grew. So when I go into the supermarket now, I just see toxins, microplastics. Can I get rid of them out of my home? No, I can't. There's too many of them. But I can do a lot to reduce the build-up of these microplastics. So unfortunately, the system that's out there does not allow people to solve problems. We have to solve them ourselves. And if we go to the health system and say, there's the 4 pillars of society. If we go to the 4 pillars of society, you know what? Those 4 pillars of society are supporting the industrial chemical economy. Because if they said anything that was anything wrong with anything out there, then people would rebel. We can't have rebellion. But we are at a time now where, thankfully, we can now come and realize. I remember we were Eugene and myself, we were in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, not so long ago. And when I was there, the one thing that I was really excited about was to go and visit the Future History Museum. You can look it up. It's a bit reminds me of a donut. It's with the circle. It's a round with a circle in the middle. And I found that fascinating because it resonated with everything I believed. We need to get away from the oil and we need green chemistry. Because I have been using green chemistry for my home for, I suppose 20 years before I visited Dubai and saw this for myself. And I realized that we can do everything with green chemistry because the Industrial Revolution separated us from the earth and made all these plastic products and food and everything else. And when we get separated from the earth, we get separated from our spirit. Spirit is in the earth, our soul, our spirit, our health. Everything is connected to the earth. And that is why I do what I do, is to try and show people we have to move away from one era, the industrial era, and we have to move into a new era. Some people call it the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment, the age of technology, because again, we're connecting to each other through technology now, whereas before it was the businesses that were out there, the doctors and the shops and all the businesses. And so we are connecting and bringing the truth out, because I can talk here and my energy can reach the ends of the earth. And if people have that frequency, like a ripple that you would throw into the pond, if that ripple goes out and out and out, it will reach the people who are in that vibration. And because of that, we are connecting bit by bit by bit by bit to people who are already awake and in tune with their soul. On a very deep level, you go to the soul. And we are helping to change the world, just one person at a time. People are waking up. We're living in a time where it is called the Great Awakening. We're coming out of the dark energy. Like the yin and the yang has a dark side and a light side. And so it is, the universe goes through a dark time and a light time. And the universe now has completed its dark time. And we are in the morning of the light. And like everything, the morning, when the morning comes, we begin to wake up. Oh, what's going on around us here? Yeah. And we are beginning to resonate with the truth, knowledge, truth. And because of that, we are doing things. It's now time for doing. We can now help, whereas before in the dark, couldn't, wasn't allowed. And the reason that we can do it now is because we're healing, we're connecting ourselves to the right and the left brain are being connected. And now we can do the most powerful and wonderful things we can create. Whereas before we weren't allowed to create, everything was stagnant, do the same thing over and over, and everybody's doing the same thing. Whereas now, in this awakening time, we can wake up and we can start to create, because we're all creators. And we create whatever is in our heart. But of course, when we heal, we are connected. When we're whole, we're connected instinctively to our heart. When we're connected to our heart, we are connected to our pineal gland, pituitary and pineal gland. We are connected to the source energy, the universal energy. So we are in alignment. That's what's called alignment. It means that we become body, whereas I did all the courses before, we become aligned with our body, our mind, and our soul. So we become whole again. Because when I say whole, I say we have been torn apart in the dark ages, torn apart. You had to have, every part of the body had a consultant. It's like having a garage for every part of the car. We had somebody looking after, treating every part of the physical body. And then we had somebody else looking after the mind, psychiatrists, psychologists, and all of that sort of. And then we had somebody looking after the soul, which was religions. But authentically, when all that is just, it's like an onion, when it's all those layers are taken away, we realize we already are whole and complete. And when we are whole and complete, we are more instinct, because the soul speaks to us through instincts, through feelings, through whispers we might hear. And because of that, we can only live a good life. We can only go the right way. We can't do anybody any harm because we're living from a space of love. Love is not a feeling. Love is a frequency, it's the highest frequency. If you look up love is kind, love is patient, love is not boastful, it's not jealous, all those things. So when we have that connection with love, we don't need all that. We don't need to be filling something. There's nothing missing inside in us. We don't have to keep filling it and looking for it. We become more complete, become more peaceful, more accepting of who we are. Definitely keep growing and learning. And if you can help somebody, help them. If they want to be helped, only from a space of the heart. Because if their heart is not in alignment with our heart, we can't help them. Because it says in the good book, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Our mind being by our mind. So our mind is something that we cannot put into a bottle or a box and put a tie around it. Our mind is the frequency, the highest frequency of the universe. And that takes us, an awful lot of people are being controlled from the base, from the lowest chakra, which is survival. I better keep doing this job. I better keep in with that person. All these things that are forcing people to do something that is not for their higher good. So what we want to do is bring people up through the different blockages, the different chakras, solar plexus, the energy in the center of the body, the heart, the throat, third eye, and the crown chakra. So that's bringing people to live from their highest self, I would say. Because it tells us, know thyself, and to thy own self be true. And I often look at when we look at the seasons, and we look at the behavior of animals. It's amazing. Like right now, not too long ago, the swallows came back. They're absolutely flying around the place because we're here in the summer. And the swallows come back and they nest in the very same spot that they were born in. Because they are connected to their instinct. They don't have to make choices. Will I go left or will I go right? So when we are connected instinctively to our souls, our higher self, we don't have to ask, I wonder what will the person think if I do this, or I wonder if I do that, or I wonder if I stop doing that. We don't have to worry about that. We just do the right thing. It just comes naturally. Anyway, I think that's me with my feelings. Feelings are very important. We feel our way through life. I'm not finished. We feel our way through life. So when we're not healthy, when a person feels they should do something and they don't do it, that is a blockage in their physical body, some part of their emotional, some part of their wholeness. It makes them less whole. But when we are doing something and we realize we're doing it from the right brain connected to the heart connected to the emotions connected to our thoughts. Our thoughts cannot be put into a box, but we will instinctively have the highest values for ourselves and for others. And I think that's why we are in this world. We're coming into a time now where the light is here, connected to our heart. We're coming back onto the earth. We're moving away from oil. We're coming back onto the earth. We have green chemistry coming along that is helping us to use Mother Earth in a way that serves our needs and our. Anyway, God bless everyone.